everyone, Steven Strom here, Strom Sports Show. Strom bombs, here we go. Got to give a ton of credit to the Toronto Raptors, what they were able to do in this offseason, what they did at the trade deadline, and I just love seeing losing franchises finally break through. Let's take a look here at what Toronto was able to do and how they got to this point leading up to the NBA Finals. Got to give a ton of credit here to Masai Ujiri, the Raptors GM. He made a lot of tough decisions that a lot of GMs would not have the guts to pull. Number one is firing Dwayne Casey, the coach of the year. I understand they got swept last year by the Cavs, but to fire the coach of the year in Dwayne Casey and then let your interim Nick Nurse take over, that's the first step of building a franchise. And honestly, that is hard to do. You take a lot of heat for that. Number two, trading away your centerpiece, your franchise guy that every fan in Toronto adored and happened to be the point guard's best friend in DeMar DeRozan, trading him away and bringing in a guy that a lot of people called uncommitted, a lot of people question his health, a lot of people question if he'd be the same player in Kawhi Leonard, and it was gold. Now, the next step in all of this is developing your young players, something that the Timberwolves have no idea how to do, hence Andrew Wiggins. They have developed Pascal Siakam. They have developed Fred VanVleet. They have developed Norman Powell. They needed these guys to step up in the absence of DeMar DeRozan. You obviously know that Kawhi's your guy. Kyle Lowry, to me, peaked a couple years ago, so at this point, he can't get any better. But they needed their younger guys to step up, and I think the whole staff has done a tremendous job, especially Siakam, in my opinion, the most improved player. You can say D'Angelo Russell, whatever it may be, give or take. But the way they've developed their guys is something that is so vital in a championship run. The stigma has always been that Toronto's too soft. Every time they run into a better team or anytime there's any type of mental adversity, they shut down. They have proven this whole entire playoffs. Even after game one against Orlando, people thought same old Magic. Then they go to 7 games against the Sixers and everyone said, the Raptors, they're just going to not come up here. They're not going to show up and play. And now they're down 2-0 against the Bucks. Everybody wrote them off. They go on and win 4 straight. Toronto is the gold standard now of a team going all in, even at the trade deadline. You saw them trade away Jonas Valanciunas. You saw them trade away CJ Miles, Dion Wright for Marc Gasol. And Gasol has been so important to this run as well. He's been able to stretch the floor, give Joel Embiid a bunch of problems. Tremendous veteran player. They went out and they said, you know what? We are all in. They finished second in the East. We have Kawhi Leonard. We have Kyle Lowry. We need another piece. I mean, you can't stress enough how Toronto did everything right. Let's be honest here. Everything came together for this team. They've got the players, and I really wouldn't be surprised here if they push the Warriors. I don't think it's going to go past 6 games, but I don't think it's going to be an easy series at all for Golden State. I think that Toronto is going to create some matchup problems, but just overall, man, shout out to Toronto, who has really changed the whole narrative about that franchise. The last couple of years, it's been so frustrating. And even as a fan that knows the struggle of getting past certain teams and certain rounds, you felt bad for Toronto last year. I mean, just absolutely getting destroyed by LeBron James and the Cavs. And a Cavs team that honestly on paper was not better than the Raptors, but they still swept them. So to come back here in season 2 and trade away your guy in DeMar DeRozan, bring in a guy in Kawhi Leonard, then trade for Marc Gasol, develop your younger guys, fire your coach of the year. Shout out to the Raptors. Time to give them a bunch of credit for this season and what they've done. Unfortunately for them, I don't even think it matters if they win or they don't win. Kawhi Leonard is gone. But listen, Toronto Raptors, they did it the right way. They were all in, and it paid off.